All right, you guys are back for more. This time I have a special guest, Vasily Zaitsev.
Slightly darker, twice removed.
Now, I know he looks a little different, but after all those Nazis he killed, he had to change his identity.
Plastic surgery, new identity in the South. Hey, come on, they'll never find me.
Yeah, exactly.
Except for this radio show that we're doing right now, telling you where.
Yeah. Nope, it's Derek again, in case you didn't recognize him. But you guys are back for more, another radio show. We got a few highly interestingly boring topics to talk to you guys about. And as I always try to remind you guys, especially if you're a new listener, the podcast can be downloaded on Lipsum. It's the link will be in the description, hopefully, if I don't forget to do it like I've done before. It's not on iTunes yet. Eventually, I'll get off my lazy butt and make that happen. But for now, you can get the podcast. You can download it. Or listen to it here on YouTube. I'm almost hesitant to say that I've got cameras because it might not work. But I said it now. But
okay, that's all right. Too late.
Yeah.
Too late.
So there might be cameras on this show for the YouTube. There might not be. I don't know.
Definitely, maybe.
Yeah. Who knows? There could be. There might not be.
You can't give out too many clues to our secret location.
That's
right. They might decipher where we're located somewhere east of the Mississippi. I'm not sure.
That's right.
Oh, did I say that? That's too much. I'm sorry.
Now they figured it out. Now they know.
Okay. They'll know now.
They know what side of the country is looking for.
There's only 22 states.
Yeah. We're narrowing it down for them.
That's all right. Come on, gotta give them something. Throw them a bone.
Yeah. Make it too hard for them. Of course, speaking of that, that's something that is pretty important to consider. If you're going to be packing a bunch of gear, whatever you're doing, if you're going to be in combat, if you're going to be going hiking, or you're going to visit your family and you just want to be prepared, whatever it is, the environment that you're going to is something to be aware of. Because maybe you're going to be going into an environment that you're not used to, that's not your local environment. Maybe it's going to be a lot colder. Maybe it's going to be a lot drier. All these kinds of things. So there's a lot of concerns about the gear and your health and all these kinds of things. And especially with guns, there are certain guns that will perform better in sandy environments. Some guns that don't do very well in sandy environments. Like you have experience in sandy environments.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, in your experience, like what are some problems that you have to run into in sandy environments with your gear?
Okay, least? Number one, sand.
Yeah.
Let's start with that one. Depending on where you're going, preparedness is half the battle.
Yeah.
But if you're fortunate enough to know where you're going, what you're going to be doing, you can prepare for it.
Right,
but,
that's important.
In an emergency, you're probably not going to know. It just happens like that.
Yeah.
If you're in a standing environment, again, I think some people in certain places want to use something called solid film lubricant. I'm not necessarily a fan of it, but CLP. Good old CLP, or even break free, or WD-40. I heard that was bad.
I've always used Ballistol. Which I've ever given you that.
I've heard of it.
Okay, I need to give you a can of it just in case see if you like it or not. But Dad got that back in '99. What's cool about it is Ballistol is a cleaner and a lubricant.
Okay.
Which is kind of cool.
Good. The problem you're going to have in any kind of sandy, dusty environment with CLP, break free, anything like that, is that it's going to attract sand and dust to keep your weapon lubricated, but it also attracts the stuff you're trying to keep out.
Yeah.
But it depends on what you want, what you're used to. But my experience, if you use again CLP, break free, then you got to be constantly on top of that weapon.
Yeah.
Always. And if you keep it clean, it won't let you down.
Yeah.
If you want to get a little bit lazy, solid film lubricant, which some people will use. I can't give you a brand name. But
what's the consistency on that stuff? What's it like?
It's like spray paint. It's like you spray it on there. It doesn't drip. Okay. It's like spray paint. Solid film lubricant that it protects and also lubricates, and it gives off this gray sheen, this gray color.
I think I've seen that before. It's like a Yeah, yeah, I saw there was a gun or something that I remember we got. They came with they called it just a dry lubricant.
Exactly.
It looked like a finish on the metal.
Exactly.
But you could kind of scrape it off.
Exactly. Can be very effective. It cuts down on your cleanup time.
Yeah.
On weapons cleaning. Also, I've heard of graphite type lubricants.
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
it's like powder. You pour it on there and work the action of your weapon. Work it in there.
Yeah.
It's what's good for you. What do you like? What your preference is?
Yeah.
It'll be good.
Yeah, and I know I've never been to Iraq, but I've always heard that the sand is much finer.
Yes.
There, so it probably creates even more.
It's always
problems.
blowing around too. So.
Yeah, I bet.
So again, it depends on what you feel comfortable with, what you have available.
Yeah.
Most important is to take care of that weapon.
Yeah.
Take care of you.
Yeah, any environment, just take care of it.
Exactly.
And that'll take care of most of your problems.
Depending on who you work for, they may whine at you about cleaning your weapon every day.
Oh, yeah.
But I am here to tell you, if you give it a good cleaning every other day or whenever, depending on how much your use is, it will work just fine.
Yeah.
I had a verbal altercation with this individual once.
To put it lightly, right?
That's right. Because I wasn't following the published procedure.
Right.
And this individual got on my butt about it. And I'm like, well, no problem. You think this weapon don't work? No problem. You go down there about 100 yards. I'll tell you what, I'm going to fire it at you. We'll see if it works or not. He didn't take me up on it. I don't know why. I don't know why not. Yeah. Situation normal.
Yeah, that's funny. And then, of course, in more humid climates,
yeah.
Really, humid climates, I guess, are probably definitely better for guns, at least for the most part. Of course, you got rust issues, but a lot of modern firearms, that's really not an issue. It's not really something you have to worry about. But it's more of an issue like for your gear, your clothes getting wet, trying to stay dry, socks being wet, and rain getting in your pack and all that kind of stuff.
And messed up your equipment. Also, some
electronics.
Exactly,
Yeah.
which is a big problem.
Of course, sand can get in electronics too, and I guess cause problems.
I would have to think that humidity is more of a problem.
Probably,
would be more
yeah.
of a problem.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's definitely a concern. So I know, yeah, because wet can really, I guess wet's probably worse than dry, especially for health. Sure.
Yes,
because you got like in World War I, they had the trench foot issue.
Also, bacteria and other bad stuff can germinate better in a wet, damp environment.
Yeah, exactly.
So you got to take care of yourself. Any kind of survival or wartime environment, it's very important that you take care of yourself.
Yeah, change your socks really often.
Exactly.
Stuff like that, and just being aware if you have anything, if you're camping or something like that, and you're going to be in an area where it's going to, it rains a lot or whatever. Have some ways to store your cell phone, different things that you don't want to get wet. They make these cool little like plastic rubber sealed packs, containers, and stuff that are waterproof that you can put things into.
Or OtterBox.
Oh yeah, I've heard.
Okay,
those.
did I just give them a free plug? I don't know.
It's okay.
Hey, I use one. They are about next to indestructible. Hey, dude, it's the way to go. Plus, they make those life boxes, whatever they're called. You can drop them in water, drop them in an airplane. You can't do anything to them.
Yeah, that kind of stuff is great. Yeah,
I mean, in this technological age we live in now, come on.
Yeah.
You gotta take care of your equipment, and there is no substitute for good gear. None.
Yeah. And even some of the best packs, as far as I understand, the Maxpedition, which is that pack I got sitting right there, they make some of the best packs, but even they're not waterproof.
No.
That's the thing. You're still gonna get water in there.
In that other life, what you do is that one thing you can do is that if you got a nice little bag like that, what you can do is like cover your individual equipment in plastic bags. Sandwich bags are great. Seal them up. That way, if you do, for some reason, find yourself in a swampy environment, crossing a stream, something like that, the bag don't get wet, but the stuff inside stays dry.
Yeah, and that's something when I'm riding my motorcycle, a lot of times, if I think there's a chance for rain, a lot of times I'll put plastic bags in my pockets.
Exactly.
Because I made the mistake a couple of times. I get caught in the rain, and it's okay. It's not a big deal. I'll just get wet and I go home and dry off. Well, the problem is, cell phone, and then dry a wallet out from getting in a washer or whatever. It's a nightmare.
Oh yeah.
I mean, everything is wet, and business cards and stuff, can't read them anymore.
Little things like sandwich bags, plastic bags will save you.
Yeah, that stuff can be huge in a situation like that. Another environmental thing too is game, like animals and things you have to be concerned with. Like if you're going hiking in the Rocky Mountains or something like that, Versus your local park or something like.
Okay.
Because I say local park, I mean it depends on where you are, but like at least around here in this undisclosed
location somewhere in the northern hemisphere.
Yeah. It's not an area we have to worry about any kind of dangerous animals. But
as far as we know.
Well, yeah, as far as we know. But there are some areas where that's a concern. Like the Smoky Mountains. Whenever I go up there, me and Dad go up there every now and then. When I was a kid, we'd go up there and stuff. Before I was carrying a gun, Dad would always bring something that was a little bigger. Mm-hmm. Because there's always that possibility of a bear. Being up there. Oh yeah. I don't think there's mountain lions, probably.
Not this far east, but down Florida, Louisiana. Oh my God.
Yeah, I tell you, big cats are scarier than anything.
Which they are bigger than you think.
Yeah,
they are bigger than you think.
Yeah, but I've never seen one. Well, yeah, I have at the zoo and stuff. Mm-hmm. But man, a big cat, that's just
consider it can knock down a deer with one swat. I mean. Man. I don't know.
Yeah, it's gonna be on you so fast too.
With those people in California hiking up in Northern California, I'm always hearing stories about people up hiking in Northern California. They're walking along, mind their own business. Oh, mountain lion jumps out, takes one down.
Yeah.
Sorry, dude. Yeah. I don't like the idea of number one, animals bigger than me.
Yeah.
Two, vicious animals almost as big as me.
Yeah.
So no.
Yeah. Or areas where there's animals bigger than me and I can't have guns.
That's right. That's right.
That's an even bigger problem.
You're right. They can be bigger than me as long as I can even the scales with firepower.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. Which, man, I keep coming back to just how much respect I have for those early explorers.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of them had 40 caliber Kentucky long rifles and things like that. And grizzly bears, just all over the place in North America.
I'm pretty sure it was shot placement back then.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. And being in a big group, I'm sure that they didn't travel alone, that's for sure.
Those little walks in the woods by yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure. I guess some did. I'm sure, and they had to know where to hit those things because at one shot.
Okay, yeah, you got a round every 3 minutes on them.
Yeah, better hope there's not two grizzly bears.
By God, go after them with your Bowie knife. By God.
Oh, I saw it. Kind of getting off topic, but I saw this thing. What show was this on? I think it was on that old show that used to be on Spike TV called Mansers. You ever heard of that?
Mansers, you're right.
Yeah, you heard about that? Okay. There's this guy on there that was like a bear combat expert.
What is that?
Like hand to hand.
Who does that? Come on.
He like made up his own martial arts.
That's right. Vic. Yes, I'll take that, please. Steven Seagal, I think that's the course he fell out of.
Yeah.
Bear combat.
Yeah, that's the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard in your life.
Well, it sounds like those old Holiday Inn commercials. Like I saw the one.
Yeah.
The lady's cornered by the bear, and the guy comes up out of the crowd and says, "Okay, what you gotta do is take your left hand, walk up, grab his right ear, and twist." Are you a bear expert? No, I stayed at a Holiday Inn Deluxe last night. I think that's what the equivalent of a bear combat expert.
Yeah, definitely. But he had these like techniques for like, you like elbow here and you kick here and you knee him in the chest. Come on.
I'm sure as you're being mauled, you're that's right.
Yeah. The only thing, if you're in a situation where you can't run, you don't have any type of weapon. The only thing that I've ever heard of working is to just get in the fetal position and hope that it'll just kind of knock you around and
stuff. You mean play dead?
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
I mean, that's the only thing that I've ever heard of actually maybe working. But I'm gonna try. I don't know. I couldn't do that.
I'll try running. Sorry, you'll have to come get me.
Yeah, I couldn't do that.
I'll try running. Sorry, you'll have to come get me.
Yeah, I couldn't do that.
I think that stuff is the same as that myth I heard about if you're getting attacked by a shark, got hit in the nose.
Now I've heard that's real though. I've heard that actually can work, but the thing is, it'd be hard to do it though. It'd be hard. like if a big shark is after you, you know how fish. I mean, you know, you've been fishing before and picked up a fish. I mean, even a little fish is like, I mean,
they tend not to stand still. It's
yeah, they're pretty slippery, you know. So I mean, that'd be hard to do. I mean, I've never been diving or anything, but it'd be hard to get to actually clock one. And plus, underwater, you can't like punch very fast.
The water. I'm thinking was you hit the shark in the nose. Is he gonna go like, hey, ow, hey, I was gonna let you go till you hit me in the nose?
Yeah.
You know, the other guys are looking. I can't let you go now.
It's not fair. You know?
I mean, come on, hey, come on. I can't let that slide. You know?
I got the wrong idea. But yeah, so anyways, back trying to get back.
What we talking about again? I'm sorry.
Yeah, but yeah, animals is something, you know, to consider. You know, there's certain guns you're going to have in certain areas, depending on the kind of animals that might be around. Another thing, temperature also is an issue when it comes to health, especially. Like obviously the one of the greatest challenges for humans to survive out you know in the wild is the cold. That's like one of the. I would think that's probably is the most difficult.
True, and I think the biggest thing about the cold is staying dry. If you're cold and dry, you're fine. If you're cold and wet, you're done.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Hypothermia, and one thing people need to understand is that hypothermia can occur in temperatures as high as 40.
Wow.
I mean, 40 degrees.
If you're wet, yeah.
So always be aware of that. Stay dry. Cold is fine.
Yeah.
Cold and wet, you're done.
Yeah. It's like I've always heard that no matter how cold it is, if you find yourself, you fall into some water outside, you take all of your clothes off.
Yes, exactly.
That's your best chance.
Best chance. Use body heat to clothes off to get under some kind of cover.
Yeah, hopefully.
And then use your own body heat to. And there's also find somebody you're close to or not close to, and hey, dude. Hey, I know I'm not getting nothing, but we gotta curl up here. I'm sorry, man. Hey,
we won't talk about it later.
We can watch football while we're curled up, while we're snuggling.
Yeah. You get a pass for something. Survival.
We'll clean guns while we're.
We'll talk about our favorite scenes of Rambo.
But hey, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What was that scene that you've seen Jeremiah Johnson, right?
By God, yes.
What's that scene where it's early on when he still doesn't know what he's doing? He like falls in the creek or something. You know, and that Indian shows up.
Was that the one where
he's trying to fish? I think.
When they were trying to kill him.
No, this was early on. This is like when he first got up into the mountain.
Oh yeah, the ones he fell in the creek and the Native American looked at him and just looked at him like this guy don't know what he's doing and rolled off.
Yeah,
like, I was gonna kill him, but this guy's obviously more of a danger to himself.
Yeah,
so I'm gonna let him go. Yeah.
Don't be that guy.
Don't be that guy. Yeah. He wanted to come up off the wanted to be a mountain man, by God.
Yeah.
So,
but it took some courage, you know. You gotta respect
and burl lives the same.
Yeah. But yeah, so the cold is definitely. I mean, I had this teacher in high school that lived in Alaska, and apparently you can actually, if you're a teacher, you can make a lot of money teaching in Alaska because like nobody wants to do it basically.
Yeah, Alaska, you don't go there unless you have a reason to go there.
Yeah, exactly, and I've heard that they pay teachers really well, so that's what he did. So I mean, from a teacher's perspective, that's kind of like being a private contractor. Like if you're a cop or something and doing private contracting work, go over to Iraq for like a year and make a ton of money. It's kind of like that. You know, it sucks, but you do it, get your money, come back.
You think they talk crap when they come back? Yeah.
Yeah, I've been to
up in Anchorage. 2 years in Anchorage, man.
Yeah.
It was rough.
I've seen things. I've seen things you wouldn't believe up there.
Yeah, man. It's good to be back.
Every time I see snow, man.
Oh man, it's just like I'm there again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
But he told me this story about, you know, because he learned a lot from like the natives up there, and he said that you would think that if you're in a snowy area where the ground, because he was not in Anchorage, he was actually like up there where the area he was, nothing was there that wasn't brought there by a plane.
Oh my God.
So I mean, it was like way out there. But he said, you know, the tendency is if you're stranded out there, of course, there was snow on top of snow on top of snow out there. There's just always snow in some of those areas. And he said you're tempted to want to, if you're out there, you know, trying to survive, to be like, okay, I need water. Well, it's everywhere. Yeah. You know, to grab snow and eat it. But he said don't do that.
Don't do that, no.
Because it lowers your body temperature.
Hypothermia.
Yeah, well, he said that what they were taught to do was, if you can, build a fire, basically. Well, first you you cut out a little hole to build your fire, and then you make like a trench.
Yeah.
Downhill basically from that hole, and then you build another little hole in the snow, build a fire in the high ground hole, and then as it burns, it melts the snow, and then it will travel down to the second one. And he said, just put your mouth down there and just suck it up. It's going to taste nasty, but
it's water.
But it's water, and actually it could do the opposite. It could actually help raise your body temperature some. If it's, I would think,
it's
right,
warm,
drinking warm water and cold,
like tea, I guess.
Yeah.
And also avoid yellow snow too. Thank you.
yeah. Unless it's lemon.
That's right. Hey, these lemons must have been bad.
Yeah. But so yeah, I mean that's one thing for sure. But yeah, trying to survive, in a cold environment, that's tough. Like, have you seen the movie? What's it called? With Liam Neeson with the wolves, Into the gray or the gray or something.
That's another one you're talking about. He's fighting them off. It's Hitman versus nature. It's like what's that one? An old school movie, Call of the Wild, something like that.
Oh yeah.
That's another one you're talking about. Can't think of the name, so I can't give it a plug. But I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah, you seen that? Like that? Man, that's a tough situation. So cold, and plus on top they got the wolves, which I don't know how realistic that is. I don't know anything about wolves really, but.
I think after you stake the first couple with your pointy stick, I think the rest of them will get the idea.
Yeah, I would think so.
I don't know.
Yeah, I've never been up there.
Hey.
But man, yeah, the cold would be one of my least favorite environments to try to endure. I mean, the cold just sucks.
On that same point, there's a movie with I think it's called In the Darkness with Anthony Hopkins and. What's that guy? Pretty boy. Which one? Alec Baldwin. Baldwin. Anthony Hopkins is this rich guy. His wife has been screwing around with Alec Baldwin, and the wife and Alec Baldwin plot to kill the guy. So they go on this nature hike up in Alaska, right? And they're flying along. Some geese fly into the plane. They crash, and Anthony Hopkins was this bookish guy, real rich, but read a lot of books on survival.
Yeah.
And he knows all those survival skills.
Yeah.
Alec Baldwin, the cool pretty boy, is lost out there.
Yeah.
He's lost. And it turns out that the guy, Alec Baldwin, ends up being saved by the guy, Anthony Hopkins, that he was trying to kill. So great movie if you're a survival kind of guy. Great movie. They fight off this grizzly with a stick, which I don't necessarily believe, but it's good entertainment.
Yeah.
But good survival movie. He uses a lot of real world techniques like a paper clip and I don't know if it works or not, but it looked cool.
Oh, I think I'm just talking about for a compass.
Yeah, for a compass.
Yeah, I've heard that does work. Yeah.
Okay. Real world compasses don't work. Magnetic compasses won't work the closer you get to the Arctic Circle because of the magnetic pole.
Yeah,
will make your compass go off. But that's why we got GPS nowadays. Hey, technology's great.
That's right. Yeah, when it works.
When it works. Anyway, great movie. Check it out.
I'll check that out. And of course, there's the infamous survival movie Alive.
Okay, I will say this, and this is a Army conversation that happened years ago.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have been on that mountain 3 days. It'll be like, let's go.
Yeah.
Okay, the first time somebody says, "Hey, should we eat, Bill?" Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's leave now.
Yeah.
It's better to die trying to get off that mountain than okay, you do what you have to do. We, none of us know what we would do in that situation.
Yeah, I mean, if they're already dead.
He was pretty chunky.
He had a pretty good diet.
Come on. Hey, I mean, if I wasn't going to eat him, somebody else would have.
Yeah.
But what looks strange, you get back and the helicopters show up and rescue you. You come back and you've gained weight.
Yeah.
Hey, dude, what happened? You were up there 30 days and you gained 5 pounds. What
God. What's the worst is like with the Donner Party. They apparently did that and they died anyways, didn't they? Didn't they all die or did anyone survive?
I think I watched this thing called The Old West, and they talked about the Donner Party. Only like 4 of them actually took part.
Oh, okay.
In the consuming of human flesh.
Yeah.
There was one guy. He was a single. I can't remember his name, unfortunately. He was one of the only single men. He was one of the heroes of the expedition because he says, "Okay, look, I'm the only one without family." They were just in the mountains above California. He got up, walked out found help, then came back and helped rescue the rest of the party. So, but he again, a lot of the people that survived had to live with the stigma of consuming human flesh, which the Donner Party was not, unfortunately, not unique.
Yeah,
that happened, unfortunately, more than a couple of times.
I'm sure it did.
I mean, dudes, but for me personally, the minute I hear, okay, who we gonna eat first? Dude, we're walking out. Get your stuff. We're walking out.
Yeah.
So, not me personally.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It'd be tough. I really almost can't have an opinion on it just because you don't know.
Well, did you know him?
Yeah. Yeah.
Did I know him? I didn't know him. Okay, I can't eat Bob.
Who would have wanted it this way?
I can't eat Bob. I can't eat Bob. Come on, I knew him. I went to high school with this guy.
Yeah.
But that guy, I didn't know him. Okay, get the knives.
Yeah.
Come on. How come we have one fully preserved body and a skeleton?
Yeah. Oh, man.
Okay. It's good to joke, but you don't know. I hope none of us ever have to face that.
Yeah. And that would only be an issue in a really cold environment, because I'm gonna eat bugs. There's lots of things I'm gonna eat before I would ever consider something like that.
Thank you. Good to hear. It's good to hear that. It's good to hear that.
Yeah.
You don't want to be the guy.
No, you don't want to be the first. Nobody wants to be the first one that's okay with that.
Nobody wants to be the first guy to say it either. Okay, all right. There's an elephant in the room. I'm going to go ahead and say it. Yeah. We got to eat. There are about 5 dead bodies out there.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
We'll go with the heavy one first and work our way down. Come on.
Yeah. Of course, actually, it's not even feasible unless it's a cold environment, because they're going to be rotten and you can't do it.
Yeah. Cold is what everybody fears, I think. But you're right. If it comes down to that, let's hope it never does.
Yeah.
But cold environment can, I think, my opinion, more of a more challenging environment to live in.
A lot more dangerous.
So just be aware of that. And you see yourself going to one in any kind, camping even.
Yeah.
You got to be prepared.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, you're on a mountain, crash in the Andes. Yes. Yeah. Worst case. I don't see it getting any worse than that.
Yeah.
But practically, okay, we're out here on a camping trip.
Yeah.
And hey, something goes south.
Yeah, and one mistake that I think we make in the modern world is we rely on our technology a little bit too much. Mm-hmm. For example, our cars. If you live in a really cold environment, you live up north somewhere, Minnesota or Wisconsin or something like that. Of course, those people they're used to that, so a lot of them are probably prepared. But still, you tend to think, I don't need to bring a big jacket, or I don't need this. I don't need hand warmers. I got a car. It's got a motor. It'll keep me warm. Well, the car might break down. It might not be anybody to help. It might be a big snowstorm and everybody's broken down. It might be stranded.
Exactly. Like what was it last year? That freak snowstorm that hit Atlanta.
Yeah.
Which,
people died in that, didn't they?
Yes, coming from the South, I'm here to tell you, Atlanta was completely unprepared.
Oh yeah.
For that, completely.
Yeah.
And I think they blamed the city of Atlanta for some reason. They blamed the city of Atlanta for not putting out the warning earlier. My God, there's a snowstorm coming this way. What were they going to say?
Yeah.
There's a snowstorm coming, run for the hills. What were they going to say?
It was just, you still got to go to work and stuff.
People stranded on 75, I believe, 75 and 85 in Atlanta. They had to call out the guard to get people out. But somehow it was the city of Atlanta's fault, which I don't necessarily agree with.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, it's called the Weather Channel.
Yeah. It's a prediction.
That's right. That's right.
It's a guess.
That be snow coming. Okay, which I at the place I work now, there are people now. If you just say the S word, for all you Yankee boys watching us right now, in the South, if you say the S word, snow, people panic.
Yeah.
There'll be no bread or milk for miles, which I never understood that. But there'll be no bread and milk, and people panic.
Yeah. So people just don't keep any food in their house or something.
That's right. And when they do, it's get all the bread and milk you can get. So so when the power goes out, we'll be in a dark house full of frozen milk, frozen bread. But hey, I got it. I got it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. Really, everyone should have a decent amount of food kept in their house, especially like stuff that's real cheap, like beans, rice, things like that.
Peanut butter, honey, because they don't go bad.
Yeah.
I think the average house has 3 days worth of food in it. The average house.
Yeah.
But if you're getting ready for the big one, Okay, let's make it plain, folks. We're not advocating going out and getting a 5-year supply of freeze-dried food. Yeah. We are not advocating. We stress being practical here.
Yeah, balance, with everything.
Hey, exactly. So if you choose to have 5 years worth of MREs under your house, go at it.
Yeah,
be my guest.
Like I said in the radio show, if I had the money and it was like nothing for me to do it, I'd have a city under my house.
A fully functioning town.
Yeah, there'd be an entire city. So like when the big one comes, they'd be like, "Where's John?" They'd be like, I don't know. He's fine. He doesn't even know what happened.
So the thing just kept going.
Yeah.
Got your radio, cable shows, news.
Yeah, exactly.
Maury Povich is down there having a show. Oh my God.
That would be pretty awesome if you did have like your own little environment down there. You had your own everything.
Oh my God. People, a whole society down there that don't know about this society up here.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. Hey.
Yeah, it's like Hollow Earth theory. Did you ever hear about that? There was a guy that I forgot who he was, but I can't remember if it was the military or if he was just like some kind of explorer or something like that. But he claimed to have flown to I think it was the North Pole, one of the poles, and he flew there, and he was like one of the first people to ever like fly to it or something like that.
I remember reading something about
when
that.
He came back, he
couldn't prove it though.
He couldn't prove it. No, he couldn't. But he claimed that some kind of like ship came out of this giant hole in the ground and said, basically, like, who are you? Why are you here? Get out of here.
Okay. This had to be like in the 20s, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And this whole like theory kind of cropped up around it. But now the thing is, like, I can see two sides of it. If something like that really did happen, it'd be really hard to prove it. I mean, how would you prove it? It sounds crazy.
Exactly.
And also, I could also see it being just, he might have been hallucinating because he was
so cold.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm at high altitude. I got the oxygen. I'm freezing. Hey, there's that a ship over there?
Yeah, yeah.
But you never know. I mean, who knows? If it did, who knows? I mean, my experience in this life has been that there's more to this life than what we can see. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, I think we want to believe that there is something out there we don't know about.
Yeah.
I think we want to believe that.
Yeah.
It ain't gonna be like Independence Day.
No.
Okay, all of a sudden Jeff Goldblum saves the world.
Yeah.
No, I think we're screwed. If the aliens come down here, all right, you're working for me now.
Yeah.
What? You're working for me now.
Yeah.
The guy who wrote 2001, A Space Odyssey, whatever his name was.
I heard Stanley Kubrick.
Dude, he made the movie. He didn't write the book.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Close. Close. The guy that wrote the book said that, you know what? Everybody gets all excited about, the aliens, and let's go out there and make contact with them. He says, well, is that really a good idea?
Yeah.
I mean, if what's to stop them from coming here and taking us over?
Yeah.
And especially if they're anything like us, what would we do if you see the Avatar? What would we do if we saw these people who were technologically and culturally behind us? Yeah. Like the Native Americans. What would we do? What would we do? Yeah. So maybe we would just lay low and keep quiet. But
I think it would go either one or two ways. Like either they'd be so advanced. They're going to be so advanced either way. They're going to either like really not even consider the Earth populated. Really, they won't even consider. Be like, okay, there's life there, but whatever. They won't even like consider us a threat at all, and they'll just take what they want.
Yeah.
Or it'll be the other way around. They'll be so advanced that they'll be benevolent.
Let's hope so.
But either way, I don't really feel like we have much to say in what happens.
I saw something on Discovery. This guy says that when we see the aliens coming, there really ain't gonna be much to do except sit back, have a drink, and wait for them to get here.
There it is.
The fact that they can get here means that we can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
So chill out, people. I'm not gonna be, but I won't be one of those people that you see walking into the light.
Yeah.
The spaceship. Let's go talk to them. No. Yeah. No. Okay, you go, and then if you can come back here and tell me everything's fine, okay, cool, maybe. Yeah. And I remember that episode of Twilight Zone, where the aliens came down and everything was great. They presented that book to Surf Man. Surf Man, and they start translating it, and then all of a sudden they realized it was a cookbook.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah.
You don't want them hitting you with their phaser and turning you into a green skeleton or red, a green or red skeleton.
Dude, great movie by the way. Mars Attack, great movie.
The great part, my favorite part is Jack Black in that movie. He comes running up there with his M14 and then the magazine falls out, which is funny because if you're like familiar with that rifle, like if you put the magazine wrong, that can easily happen.
Right.
But it's like falls out and he's like, oh. And then
great movie. Thank you very much. Great movie. Martin Short was excellent.
Oh
as
yeah,
secretary.
Everybody was in that movie.
Yeah, the movie sucked at the box office, but it was still fun to watch.
Yeah, I liked it. I mean, it's goofy as hell.
They couldn't stand Slim Whitman. He was yodeling, and they couldn't take it. And that's why they killed him.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah. I wasn't sure what his name was. But yeah.
What's your name? From Thor and from Star Wars.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
What's her name? Yeah, that famous woman that we can't think of her name right now.
Yeah, she wasn't big then. Portman something.
Natalie Portman. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
See how famous she is? We couldn't remember her.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But yeah, it was great. I forgot how we got off on that.
I don't know, dude.
Anyways, but okay. Well, we talked about that enough, I guess.
Okay. Yeah.
But one of the other things we had on here too was you get a weird situation when it comes to law enforcement use. There's been a lot of stuff in the news, of course, lately about law enforcement use of force. We're not going to get into any of the specifics about the different things that are going on, just because
heaven forbid.
Yeah, I really don't care to open up that big can of worms.
Nope.
Honestly, on this show. But one of the events that happened kind of gave me an idea, something to talk about is the several instances where cops shoot someone that has a toy gun.
Yeah.
It's happened many times. There's been lots of measures taken to try to prevent that. They got the orange tips and things.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, in this situation, the orange tip had been painted black,
in
right?
Cleveland. No, it had been removed.
Removed, okay.
It was an airsoft pistol with the orange tip. There was originally an orange tip there to identify it as a fake gun, but the orange tip had been removed.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, the thing is, in those kind of situations, you don't have time. You don't have time to react. I've never been in that situation, but from the little bit of the stuff work that we've done together and stuff like that, it's like you can see how quickly something can happen.
Yes.
And there's not really that time where you get to think, oh, is that a real gun or is that not? By the time you start realizing that kind of thing, it's probably too late.
I did have a similar situation in this certain area of this certain town. Individual came up behind my vehicle. Told you, didn't I?
I think you did tell me about
this.
Yeah.
It was the same thing. It was the same situation as the guy in Cleveland. Waved it, didn't know it. Hey, you don't know.
Is that the one where you were in the car and you said you thought you were like, oh, I'm dead.
He came up behind me waving that same pistol. In fact, it was the same kind of airsoft pistol with the orange tip removed. Wade came up behind me, waved it. I thought I was done.
Yeah.
And then I got out, chased the guy down, and then the guy threw it down, and it was an airsoft pistol.
Yeah.
Same thing. The problem I got with the situation we're talking about in Cleveland is that you have to, for your legal and moral safety, make sure that you give the suspect every chance to comply with instructions. Also, to protect yourself, as we've said before here, to protect yourself, you got to make it very plain to the suspect and the people who are around you, and there's always people around you, that there was a weapon. You had eyes on it, and that weapon was a threat to you or someone else.
Right.
Deadly force is never a first option. Never.
Yeah. Right. Another thing too, it's not the Wild West. It's not going to be a showdown 10 paces. You don't if you get a call that there's a gun somewhere, and you go and respond to that call, you don't just go rushing right up to it. Hey, what are you doing?
No. You ease up to it.
Yeah, you park the car away, and ease up.
Because 911 calls can be notoriously inaccurate.
Right.
People will call and say anything. The good thing about 911 is that anybody can call. The bad thing about 911 is that anybody can call.
Yeah.
You don't know. So as an officer in the field, what you do is that you pull up and let's do a quick assessment and do what's best, do what's appropriate.
Right.
Because you don't know.
Yeah.
Because the caller could say anything. And I believe this officer was advised that possible 20-year-old male black with a weapon. It probably, and I think the caller said it was probably fake, but you don't know.
Right. And if you hear something like that, you want to do everything that you can possibly do to try to keep that situation from happening where you shoot someone that has a fake gun.
De-escalate. Hey, Matt, I heard you got a weapon. What's going on? I don't know if I wasn't there. None of us were there. We don't know. But at the same time, you got to use every effort to make sure that that deadly force is an absolute last resort.
Right. And the cop's defense, I mean, if the guy has a gun, you can't take. There's not a lot of chances you can take.
And this is no excuse for him. I read the story on the Washington Post. No excuse, but this guy was only had 8 months of experience. Hadn't even been on the force a year yet. I think he was hired on in March. Yeah. And it's December now. He had 8 months experience, and they sent him to the 4th District of Cleveland, which is the worst in the city. Wow. So no excuse for inappropriate action, but at the same time, I think we can understand his frame of mind.
Yeah. But you know what they almost ought to do with the way that they rotate police officers? Maybe some of them do this. I don't know. Usually the older retired guys, they usually send them out to the places, like the nicer areas where nothing happens. Quiet. Yeah. Mm-hmm. What they ought to do is they ought to send the new guys out there too and partner them up with these older guys
to learn.
Then they can go around in an area where nothing's probably going to happen, but they can learn from these really experienced guys.
Exactly.
And then rotate them back, into the thick of it.
I'm sure that in some form or another, they do that. I'm sure. Yeah. But there's no substitute for experience.
Yeah, there's not.
I mean, school's one thing, books are one thing, but actual real world experience, you can't put a price on that.
Yep.
I don't know again about this guy in Cleveland. I don't know. I wasn't there, but it seems rough that straight out of school they sent him to the they put him in the trenches. Which, at the same time, what better way is there to learn?
Right.
I heard the term combat Darwinism.
Yeah.
And what that is that you throw them out there, and the ones that are fit to make it will survive, and the ones that aren't will fall by the wayside.
Right.
Unfortunately, in this case, I think that that kid got blasted because this guy wasn't experienced as experienced as he should be. But if I remember correctly, he'd already been an officer before in some quiet little town called Independence, Ohio. Yeah. But they were going to fire him because he was inept.
Yeah,
ouch.
That's
ouch.
Yeah, that doesn't help his case for sure. And of course, one problem with that way of thinking of just throwing them out there, and the ones who can make it will survive. The problem is innocent people could be victimized.
Exactly.
That's the problem when now with like a more military kind of standpoint, that I could see that definitely. But the problem with law enforcement is,
it's not combat. It's not war.
So, yeah. Well, we have to put a lot of trust in law enforcement that they're not going to hurt innocent people. They're not going to hurt us by mistake.
Okay. Again, it's we weren't there. I gotta keep emphasizing that we don't know, based off the newspaper reports, and we don't know what the official report is. I'm sure there's an investigation going on as we speak, but from what it looks like and from the video footage that one of the surveillance cameras had, this guy was firing. This car didn't even. He jumped out of his vehicle firing. He was engaging the suspect within 2 seconds of coming on scene. Dude, I don't know, man.
Sounds like you might have watched too many movies or something. I don't know.
Which is, as we both know, that is a problem out there.
It really is.
Too many guys watch too much TV, too many movies.
Because you want everybody, even people who are really experienced, they want to be that guy that they've seen on the movies.
Yeah. Because, that's what people do. I'm going to drive fast, do a donut, shoot out the window like Bruce Willis did.
Right.
No.
They don't care how unrealistic it is.
Exactly. Have I seen that? These cops in Houston, when we're in a car chase with some bank robbers, and the bad guys fired on the car, shot out the cop's window, and he pulled up his AR and was firing out the window with his AR with his right hand while he's driving with his left. That would probably never happen again in 20 years. But it was cool. But you always got to take it. If you are responding law enforcement, security, or responsible citizen, you have always got to be aware that you're responsible wherever your rounds are going to go. Right. So again, it's not like TV. You just can't start blasting off a bunch of rounds without regard as to where they might hit. Because if you hit the wrong person, or if you hit the right person and your round penetrates and hits the wrong person behind him, you're done.
Yep, not firing blanks in the real world.
No, ain't none of this. And your gun runs out of ammo too. It just don't keep firing.
Every bullet lands somewhere.
Somewhere, exactly. So it's out there for real. It's a different world.
Yeah, it really is. Speaking of guns and movies,
okay,
the one of the most prolific movie guns, almost at least big guns, M60.
Great weapon. I carried one once, and I tell you what, like any other gun, you take care of it, it'll do the job. heavy, 23 pounds.
Yeah.
My God. I believe if I got my history correct, it was based off the old German MG42.
Yep.
But they slowed down the rate of fire to like, 1,100?
I think that's what the MG42 was, I think.
The MG42, the German MG42 was like 1,500 or something.
Was it
like that.
15? Okay.
It was like.
The M60 is pretty slow. I think it's like 600 or 700. I think
well, I think it was a little bit more higher than that.
8 or something like that.
Okay, where's Google? Get Google.
Let's see.
Come on, where's your analyst? Where's your assistant at?
All right, here we go. Let's figure this out right now.
But
live on the radio.
Real time, by
yep.
God.
Okay, M60.
But the problem with firing too fast is accuracy. Too slow, then what's the purpose of having a machine gun that shoots slow?
Right. Yeah. If it's too fast, then it's hard to control.
Exactly.
The barrel heats up fast.
And you're not hitting nothing. You're wasting a bunch of ammo.
500 to 650 rounds.
You serious?
Yep.
Dude, I thought it was faster than that. But okay.
Yep. Because where I get that is I'm basing it off of like some of the other guns that I've shot before, like the Uzi, for example. Mm-hmm. It's about 600. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking the M60 sounded about like it has that kind of choppy sound to it.
Yeah, which makes it controllable.
Right.
Which they replaced it with the M240 Bravo in 1995.
Yeah, they still used it. I was reading online. They still use the M60 for a pretty long time after that.
Exactly. It stayed in use. The advantage that the M60 had was that it was already out there.
Right.
It was already out there. You already got the parts, ammunition for it. It's been proven.
Right.
Probably any new weapon. Okay, again, off track. The reason that the Army still uses the M4 is because there isn't anything that's significantly better.
Right.
I mean, they've tried for years to replace it.
Or cost effective too.
Exactly. There just isn't anything out there significantly better.
Right.
And that's the problem they had faced with the M60. It had been out there since 1957. Effective, proven, did the job. It's already in the system. The M240 Bravo, which when they opened up the competition to replace it, I think there was one company had like an M60A4 version, which was a modified M60.
Right. And
Fabrique Nationale, I hope I said that with my accent, came with the 240 Bravo. It was they found during the competition that the M60 was better balanced, more accurate, and lighter than the 240, but the 240 was more reliable.
Yeah, that's important.
Now you got to make a call. You know, it's light, it's balanced, it's effective, but the other gun's more reliable.
Yeah,
sounds a lot like an AK. Not the best, but it's the most reliable.
Yeah, definitely is.
So
now, some people might argue it's the best, but I personally prefer the ergonomics of the AR.
Depends on what some of my Eastern European pals tell you. It's what you use it for.
Yeah,
it depends on. They think they like in Russia and Eastern Bloc, the former Eastern Bloc, they swear by the AK.
Yeah,
they'll tell you it's what you use it for.
Right.
It's accurate enough. It's accurate enough.
Right.
Which you're not going to. Okay, let's don't get on that tangent. But as you know, as long as you're more than 100 yards away, you should be all right.
Oh, yeah. One thing too about the M60 that I was reading online is that one of the advantages of the M60 versus the old 1918 that they were using, the 30 the 30 cal 6 like they used in World War II and stuff, was that gun was basically it was a mounted gun.
Yeah.
Because of the way that it fired, the advantage of the M60 was you could stick that thing up on your shoulder and shoot.
Yes, that was an old Army standard that the Army held over from World War I.
Right.
With the BAR and the M1919 machine gun, you had to be able to fire the weapon that the M60 replaced. You had to be able to fire it from the shoulder, from the kneeling position, sitting, and from the prone.
Right.
So yes,
and
you could do that.
I would think you could also fire it more effectively, because if you have a gun where you're kind of holding it, you got your arms, extended, and you're holding it, and trying to aim it and look down the sight. I mean, you don't have as much. You can't take advantage of your motor skills as well with something like that. But if it's actually a rifle where you're holding it more like a standard rifle, you got it against your shoulder, and you got the pistol grip, and you're grabbing the forearm, you can aim it better. You can be more in tune with the rifle or with the machine gun. I would think.
Yeah, but again, which was the way the the BAR and the M1919 machine gun was. You could fire like the M19, you could fire from the hip.
Right. If the BAR could have been belt fed somehow, I could see that. That could have lasted longer. Than
Great weapon. Effective range 800 yards. Great weapon. Problem was 20-round magazine. You go through ammunition like that.
And heavy. Oh my god.
You fired one. Did they have semi?
It was semi-automatic. Yeah.
You could fire it semi.
It was only semi-automatic. The one I shot. Okay. Yeah. It was like a civilian version.
But the military version, I don't know. But the military version.
Oh no, I did. That's right. I did fire a fully automatic one time at a gun show.
So the military versions, you could be fire semi.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they were select fire or not. I think maybe some of them were. There were several different models of them.
I can see the advantage to having back in the age of World War II.
Yeah.
Everybody else is firing M1 with 8 rounds. The Germans are firing bolt action. You're out there with a BAR with
20 rounds.
With 20 rounds that you can fire semi.
Right.
You got an advantage.
Yeah, you do.
So you could probably get if you got familiar enough with the trigger, because I know back from my days. You could work that M60 if you had the right touch on that trigger. You could single fire an M60. So, hey, why not?
Yeah, if you can kind of work around the open bolt kind of thing, kind of makes it weird. Where, like the BAR, the military version was open bolt. So when you pull the trigger, the bolt has to fall first. So that makes it a little bit awkward for precision shooting, but I would think it's still
practice.
Yeah, practice with it, you could do it. Yeah.
So, you'd be surprised about weapons. My uncle, who was in the Korean War, he fired they were still using, I believe the old water cooled 1919. The thing weighed 95 pounds. But very effective.
95 pounds.
But it took at least a 3-man crew to move it.
Yeah, I bet.
So you were gonna be running around with that.
Yeah, like a guy for the gun and the guy for the stand and then the water, right?
Gunner, AG, 4-man. Gunner, AG, ammo bearer, and probably a guy to carry water.
Yeah.
And that water ain't for drinking. We need it for the machine.
Yeah. I mean, the thing would shoot forever, but
but once the water evaporated, you were done.
Yeah.
So older stuff, and this is getting off track again, but there was really nothing wrong with older stuff.
Yeah.
Wood and iron guns work great, as you well know.
Yeah, the human body hasn't changed. That's the one thing,
But M60, great weapon. I think there's still some places you can still find it. It's still effective.
Yeah, it is. Like I said, the human body hasn't changed one bit. The things that were effective back then are still effective now. It's just that we have guns and certain weapons that are a little bit more effective. You might have the upper hand, but still effective.
I think the ideology has changed. Now we've gone away from the big round, the big heavy knockdown power. It's more about shot placement now.
Right.
With the 5.56s and the 5.45 caliber weapons, it's more about shot placement. Why do I need to blaze away with 30, 40, 60, 100 rounds when I can put one round well placed and eliminate the threat?
Right, exactly.
So,
and also eliminating the need for lots of different types of guns. Before, like in World War II, you had the M1 carbine, you had the Thompson, and then of course the Garand, and
M3 grease gun.
Yeah, and the grease gun. You had all these different types of guns for different purposes.
Yeah,
we don't really have that anymore because you don't need to. The AR, the M4 basically can do it all.
General purpose rifles, general purpose weapons.
Accurate at long range, but then also compact enough to where you can manipulate it around in a vehicle and stuff.
Well, I'll say this: the M16A2 is long range.
What do you say? You used to call them? You call them muskets?
Muskets. Okay, yes. Compared to a M4, a carbine.
Right.
Man, A2 is huge.
Yeah.
But you give up long range. You give up range.
Yeah.
Which again, I believe the thinking in the Army was that, are we gonna be shooting people at 800 meters anymore? Not really. I mean, what we do now, it's 300 to 400 yards. That's about it. Any further than that, do you need to shoot them anyway?
Yeah, and the standard, like now I've heard with the 14-inch barrel M4s, you lose a little bit of long range accuracy, but I know with the 16-inch barrel civilian, you get pretty good long range accuracy even out of a 16-inch barrel from what I've heard.
It's all about shooting practice.
Yeah, exactly. And the 5.56 is just a flat shooting round. It's a great round for it may not have the knockdown power, of course, of the 7.62 by 51 or even a 45 ACP, but you can carry so much of it, you know, and it's so fast and so hot, and you can put those things wherever you want.
I think what's standard load for a M14 was what?
The M14, the 308, yeah,
308 round,
the 7.62 out of 51.
Yeah, or the M1 was standard load was what 80, 90 rounds you might carry.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's all you're gonna carry because you carry too much. It's heavy, right?
Yeah.
But I met with a NOM guy. He told me he had guys going out there with 800-900,000 rounds of 5.56, which again is small caliber, but you carry a whole bunch of it.
Yeah.
And I'll say this, I agree because there is no such thing as enough ammo.
Yeah.
No such thing. So.
Yeah, I'm a big capacity guy. I mean, I like the big bullets and things, but when it comes down to the fact, like, okay, you're going out in the woods, you don't know what you're going to run into.
Or how many of them.
And all you can take is just what you can carry.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm not going to pick up a 308. I have to say.
I mean, hey.
Now, if there was several of us, if okay, there's 5 of us,
okay.
I'd be like, one of us should grab the 308 because it'd be good for at least one person to have it.
Exactly. What's this guy? Kenyon. He was at the. I think he was one of the Band of Brothers from World War II. He wrote his book, Airborne Infantry. He said, again, that's where I got that quote from. There's never enough. No, there's no such thing as enough ammo.
Yeah.
No such thing. He said that because he was a machine gunner during World War II, and he talked about that. He says, if you got too much ammo, no problem. You can always get rid of it.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you don't have enough, oh my God.
Yeah.
If you don't have enough, you're done.
Yeah, that's always in war movies. Whenever it gets down to some big fight scene or something like that, and they're like, oh, I need another magazine. They're like, I don't have one. It's like, oh man,
my God.
Brings it back to reality, you know.
So it's not like the movies. Guns do run out of bullets.
Yeah, yeah. At least it's not like the unrealistic movies. I like that there's been some movies that have come out, but they at least try to make it realistic, you know. Like Black Hawk Down. Oh yeah, by the way, have you filed your official complaint for them leaving you out of the movie?
Yeah.
I think we need to start a petition.
Cover the aviation guys, the guys on the ground. What about the guys that were out there about a mile or 2 away, arming the helicopters? What about them? Where's their movie?
Yeah. We need to start a petition for you to get them to reshoot the movie and put you into it.
Get James Cameron on the dude. It's a great story, dude.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
The characters should be in there.
Been trying to get that story out there for years. Come on.
Maybe they'll do like a sequel or something.
Okay, Black Hawk Down 2.
Yeah. Oh, for the people who didn't, I guess that was probably the first episode where we talked about that. So again, to tell the people who haven't seen the first episode, well, first of all, Derek, you were there for the whole Black Hawk Down thing. And what was the story again about how when you first found out that what was going on? Didn't you say some guys you knew there was something going on in the city, right? And
I don't think I can use a quote that was said since we're PG-13 here.
Oh well, just replace it with something, or I can cut it out or whatever.
Okay, all right. We were supporting the Rangers in their operations inside the city of Mogadishu, and we're sitting out there on the end of the airfield at Mogadishu Airport, and somebody came out there. The CEO came out there and says, "Hey, we just lost. They just knocked down however many aircraft," and it was like all together, all 14, 15 guys said, "Bullshit."
Yeah.
And he says, "No, really, they just knocked down this many aircraft." And again, all together, everybody went, "Bullshit."
Yeah.
And he says, "No, I'm serious." It was just so, again, everybody was stunned.
Yeah.
Everybody was stunned that something like that had happened because of the people because of who you were and who you worked with. Everybody thought, well, there's no way this can happen because we're us. But it can happen to anybody. That's why you don't take anything for granted. You never underestimate anybody.
Yeah.
But them Rangers were, by God, excellent out there. I want to say that. The Ranger Regiment is excellent. They're worth every cent that the Army spends on them. Yeah. And there ain't enough of them, by God.
Yeah.
So
they got caught in the storm, but they handled it best they could.
By God, yes, they did. By God.
And I forget his name in the movie, but the guy that the typist, was his coffee really that good? You can tell us. You've had his coffee, right?
You mean young Obi-Wan? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, I've seen him before.
when you saw the movie, you were like, oh yeah, I remember him. That his coffee was good.
Coffee. And they just said, hey, you get in the car and go, oh yeah, I remember him. Yeah. But
that's probably something they just made up, I guess, for the movie.
Of course, they gotta have a little the literary license. Is that the right word?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm trying to get a movie made. But we'll put in there about that time I thought I was shot in Iraq.
The what?
The time I thought I was shot. I know I told you that one. So the thing coming over there, I heard this whirring sound behind.
Oh, like it sounded like a bee was going over your head.
No, that one. No. I'm sitting out there and we're inventorying this piece of equipment for the 55th time for no reason. And these guys were playing football on the other side of these vehicles.
Yeah.
And they had this for some reason they had a green Nerf football.
Yeah.
And I just got a clipboard. The thing's open, and again, I'm completely bored. We're inventorying this BS for how we just got done inventorying it. There's nothing. It's been locked up. Nothing's in there.
Yeah.
So, but we're doing it again for some reason.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there, and again, they were behind me. I didn't know that, and they're throwing this football, and I got my back turned to the big rig, to the vehicle, and I got a clipboard, and the van's open in front of me, and out of nowhere, I hear this whirring sound.
Yeah.
Come down from up and to my left, and I hear, and then something hits me in the shoulder, and my first thought was, Jesus, I'm shot. And I froze. I went, okay, my arm, man, it's gone. My arm's gone, man. And I don't look because I'm thinking it's gonna be like a bloody stump there, right?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking I'm in shock, man. That's like I'm in shock. I was like, I don't feel anything. And then the guys came running up to me. What's wrong, man? What's wrong? I'm like, my arm, man, it's gone, man. My arm's gone. So he says, dude, you're fine. I'm like, no, man, no, it's gone. He's like, dude, you're fine.
You're just telling me what I want to hear.
That's right. You're just standing there. And I open my eyes and I look down there and I see this lime green football with little tail fins laying next to me, and I felt incredibly stupid. But hey.
No, I guess you did tell me that.
I felt incredibly stupid.
That's hilarious.
Hey, dude.
And that was in Somalia when that happened?
No, that was Iraq.
Iraq? Oh, okay.
So,
that's funny.
Dude. Oh. And, of course, they put it in the unit newspaper. And they told everybody back home, and everybody back at Bragg got a big laugh at that too.
Oh yeah,
that's good. That's fine. Go ahead and laugh. I still got my arm.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you at least could have got a Purple Heart or something.
Oh yeah, come on. Okay, something.
Emotional scarring.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Come on. Because I thought for sure my arm was on. I thought for sure I was gonna open my eyes, and there would my arm be flapping around on the ground.
Yeah.
But nope, it was just a Nerf football. Hey, no problem. Yeah. I'll take it.
Man, that'd be crazy. That happened for real. Look down, your leg is gone, your arm is gone. And again, it was understood that you don't want to hear a big explosion, and then all of a sudden your partners are saying it's going to be okay. You don't want to hear that. Yeah.
Because it's going to be bad. So, fortunately, I lucked out. Thank God.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's always one thing I've always wondered about, like in Band of Brothers, that scene when let's see, Joe Toy is one of them, and Garnier.
When they're in the forest and Foy.
Yeah, and they both get hit, and both of them like lose a leg, or one of them loses a leg, and the other one it's like
you drag him away. Another round comes in.
Yeah,
his leg comes.
Now, I remember thinking about that, like, because it's Garnier, right? And last name. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, his kind of reaction was, "Oh, well, they got me.
I get to go home now." Okay.
Yeah,
because he was having that trouble with frostbite and all that before.
Yeah.
I said, "Oh, guess not. Ain't got to worry about that anymore."
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Great attitude.
Yeah.
Great attitude.
I always wonder, like, if I was ever in that situation, or anybody, like, how would you react? Would you freak out, like, "Oh, my leg is gone. Oh my God," or would you kind of be like, "Well, okay, I knew this was a risk."
I think it depends on the person, depends on your attitude.
Yeah.
And plus that pain. I read about this one guy got hit. He lost both legs, and they were in a trench sleeping. Round came in, killed two guys, and blew his legs off. And he says the only thing he remembers a flash. And then next thing you know, the medic is over him, and he sees blood He's looking at the medic, and he sees blood spurting up on the medic's jacket as he's getting worked on. And he says he doesn't feel a thing. And then he said about 5 minutes later, searing pain hit him.
Oh, man.
Oh, my God. Oh, Jesus.
I guess one thing, if you got wounded that bad, like, there's no question when you're obviously going home, if you lose a leg or something. I guess the one thing maybe that would make it a horrible thing seem not as bad was, okay, because you were prepared for the fact you might get killed in that situation. So when you see that happen, you're like, okay, well, at least now I know this is as bad as it gets.
Perspective.
You know?
Perspective. I mean, yeah, you're done. Let's get back to the house. You're alive, and
could have been worse.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'll quote my old man. He said, "Hey, I got out of there. I can see. I got both arms, both legs, and I'm only half crazy."
Yeah.
So I said, "Life is good.
Yeah.
Life is good."
Yeah.
So it's perspective.
Yeah.
It's perspective.
Yeah. So yeah, everything is all on how you look at it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, which is it may not make it any easier to deal with,
Right.
but you got to keep that perspective that it could have been worse, has been worse, and for a lot of people, it is worse.
Right.
So it's
Yeah.
perspective.
Yeah, exactly. And to further get philosophical, absolutely everything that we think is bounced off of something else. Everything is relative, and every idea we have about something is based off of some kind of other thing that we have looked at and analyzed, and then compared it. So that is the ultimate tool in trying to get over something that's hard in your life. It doesn't have to be combat or PTSD. Anything in your life that's been hard, whether it's your girlfriend leaves you or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Understanding that the way that feels to you is based off of a relativity to something else.
Yeah, what's traumatic is subjective, because what's very traumatic to one person may not be traumatic to somebody else, or may not be as traumatic to someone else. It's all subjective. And,
right.
What you got to do for your personal welfare is just remember that, for me, it's always remembering that things could be worse, things have been worse.
Right.
So no matter what happens, it could have been worse.
Yeah.
So, hey, let's go. Let's keep going.
Yeah.
Which may not make it any easier,
no.
but it does help.
It might help you. Yeah.
It does help.
Yeah, exactly. But it's kind of like that. There's that old quote. I mean, it's kind of different, but like one man's trash is another man's treasure.
That's right.
Kind of thing.
My God.
So true.
So yeah.
Yep. Okay, so I want to close it out on one, something that I kind of thought of recently that I thought might be kind of funny to talk about. I mean, it's not funny, it's sick, but
okay,
it's kind of. But anyways, so recently we did a video with the Charter Arms 44 Special Bulldog, which is a really famous revolver. Inexpensive. It's small for a 44 caliber, and that gun was. Not necessarily made famous, but it was a gun that was used by the son of Sam,
David Berkowitz.
Yeah, David Berkowitz. And so that was kind of known for that. And we were doing that video. Me and Dad were kind of talking about it and stuff like that. And I was thinking of something kind of funny, even though it's not funny. He killed 6 people.
Oh yeah,
so it's horrific. But still, I'd like to find the humor in things. And one thing that's kind of crazy is like. So he said that his dog, basically, or his neighbor's dog, was possessed by a demon or something like that, and the dog told him to do it. Now, here's the thing that I don't understand: if a dog tells me to go kill a bunch of people, I'm not going to say yes right away. I'm going to say, "What the hell? You're a dog. I ain't got to listen to you."
Yes, at the very least, go, "Hey, that dog just said something."
Yeah, let's kill the dog.
No, what Berkowitz said. During his disposition, he said that the neighbor, Sam, whatever his name, Cripps or whatever his name was ordering him to kill people, and he was ordering him to kill people through his dog, which was a black Labrador, by the way.
Yeah.
For you dog lovers, he was ordering him to kill people through the dog.
So it wasn't the dog that was demonic.
No, the dog just okay. Look, it ain't me, it's him. He told me to tell you this.
Yeah, don't kill the messenger.
That's right. Hey man, if it was up to me, I say don't do it. But hey, he's my owner. What am I gonna do?
Yeah. Still, if a dog tells me anything, I'm not gonna try. I'm gonna take it at least with a grain of salt.
I would think, well, okay, what kind of dog was it now?
Yeah.
What kind of dog?
I mean, labs are pretty credible.
Okay, that been a cat? Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Like I joked with the old lady, he said the dog told him, that's stupid. Now, if the cat told him, okay, I'll believe that.
Yeah.
Just like a cat.
Yeah.
Just like a cat.
But didn't the guy that shot John Lennon say kind of the same thing? Did he say like the dog told him?
What was that
something?
guy's name?
I can't remember what his name was.
Nobody else does either.
I think it was the same thing, right? The dog told him.
He was demented somehow, and John Lennon he was listening to some kind of one of John Lennon's songs, and he got some kind of message from it, and he felt like Lennon. If I don't quote me, he felt like Lennon's real life was contradicting the message he was giving out in this song. So, and because of that, because you don't actually live by your lyrics in your song, I'm gonna kill you. Oh, dude, what a loser, man. Hey, dude, it's a song, man.
Yeah,
it's a song. That's how I make my living.
Yeah,
you know, I don't necessarily live by this. This is a creed I live by. It's a song that people like you buy and give me money for.
Yeah, exactly.
So
yeah, and plus songs are very open to interpretation. They're
Exactly.
intentionally vague. A lot of times they want you to be able to see it in lots of different lights and things.
Which is why, as far as this fame stuff, forget that. No way.
Yeah.
You know, as soon as you get any kind of notoriety, there's some guy up in the mountain going, it's him. It's his fault.
So, which is scary,
dude.
And John Lennon, I always heard he used to walk around without a bodyguard.
Yeah, he was a man of the people. He was very casual. He was like, hey, I just write songs, man. What's the big deal?
Yeah, but you gotta respect the guy. I mean, for that. But still, I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, you just never know.
Yeah.
In this world, especially living in New York, you just don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know. I mean, not to make fun of mental illness, but you just don't know who's out there and what's wrong with them. You just don't know. You have to be careful. Not afraid, not paranoid, but just aware.
Yeah.
Like back to some Berkowitz. He
killed 6 people.
Wounded 13, killed 6, and there were people that were unsuspecting. They were minding their own business, and he bushwhacked them. He jumped out of the brush, shot them, moved on.
Yeah.
Again, he never went. If you ask me, he never went after anybody that was even looked like they were halfway prepared or could have fought back or might have been armed too.
Yeah.
And then he never went after. He went after innocent, unknowing people.
Right.
So, and Lennon, same thing. You just got to, don't beat the dead. But the guy, you gotta be careful.
Yeah.
You're well known. You're a celebrity figure. You don't know who's out there. Like those people like stalking these stars. Jumping fences, climbing to their houses and stuff.
Yeah.
So, no way, baby.
Yep.
If I ever make it big, I'm going to live in a mountain castle with a moat with gators in it.
I'm going to be living in my underground city.
No, castle better. Up on a hill.
But a castle, see, they know it's there.
That's right.
If you got a city on the ground, nobody even knows. They can't break into what they can't find.
I like the intimidation factor. I'm going to have a moat with gators in it.
The sharks with laser beams.
Guys with crossbows on towers. Hey, come on, dude.
Yeah.
If you got the money, why not?
Exactly. Why not? What's the point of having money if you can't do that?
I want vultures circling through.
Well, one thing with a guy like Berkowitz, too, is like one thing I was reading is he even admitted himself was he felt like he was on a different wavelength than most people.
Yes.
I think that's part of what happens with these people is it's like mentally they're on like a different plane almost of existence than us. You know what I'm saying? The things that we care about are not things that they care about.
Exactly.
They're basically like they are like predatory animals.
Their psychotic state, yes, can make them feel that way. That reading I done on him said he felt like he was possessed by a demon,
right?
Which was part of his altered mental state. You just don't know. I read when I was in school. Unfortunately, it's scary. I think that there are people out there who are just dangerously disturbed,
right?
And those are the ones we got to worry about. And most of the time, we just never know. Like that Virginia Tech shooter. Well, I take that back. They did know about him. I believe his.
Didn't he have a history?
He have a history of violence and violent behavior. But the problem in America is that unless they do something, you can't necessarily take any action.
Yeah.
Some states are making it so that if they have weapons and and there are issues with mental wellness, you can confiscate their weapons until they recover.
Yeah.
Some states are moving toward that. I don't know if anybody's actually done it yet.
Yeah.
But mental health issues are a touchy subject here. And
right.
I don't think they should be. I think the fact that we stigmatize it makes people afraid or have issues with coming forward and say, hey, maybe something's wrong.
It perpetuates the problem.
Exactly. And there's no shame in admitting something's wrong. I mean, in fact, it takes courage to admit that there's something wrong. Hey, you know what? There's a problem. Let's go get some help.
Right.
And don't let your pride kill you.
Right.
Shit. Or anybody else. Thank you very much.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you.
Yeah, and of course, some of these people are so sick they would never do that. Of course, that it becomes a. That's what's frustrating is a lot of the things that people think are a gun issue really are a mental illness
issue. Exactly.
Like you talked about before. It's it's not the tool, it's the thought process.
Exactly.
You know?
Guns do not kill people. People do. And I think what we do as a society is that we blame weapons for what people do.
Right.
And that's BS. I mean, the problem is us. It's
Right.
not guns. It's us. We're the problem.
Right.
The fact that, like, I just, what was that crazy song, SOB, that went into Sandy Hook and knocked off all those kids?
Oh, yeah.
I read there was a follow-up report from the state of Connecticut on this guy. Doctors had warned his mother since he was 14 that this man was dangerously disturbed and he needed aggressive treatment, but she didn't want anything to do with it. She's like, no, he's my baby. Okay, as a parent, okay, it comes a time you have to say, okay, my kid's nuts.
Yeah.
I got to do something about it.
Yeah.
And also they put a finger on the school system for allowing him to be homeschooled when one of his problems was he couldn't necessarily associate with other people.
Right.
If you have issues, socializing issues with other people, you should be around people so that you can learn to better socialize and empathize with people.
Right.
But his mother kept him, I feel, isolated by educating him at the house. Plus, they also believe he was anorexic too. He was 6'2" and only weighed like 110 pounds.
Wow.
So
that's thin.
And then his mother. One of the first stories I read about this guy is that his mother could not leave him alone. Which, again, how much of a red flag do you want? I mean, we got an issue here.
Yeah.
And we take care of it. And the fact she kept weapons around the house. Okay. Yes, strong gun guy. But if you got a family member or a spouse that has issues,
got to be locked up. Yeah.
Locked up,
Yeah.
and you're the only one access.
Yeah, and he still could have maybe gotten the gun somewhere else. But at least don't make it easy for him.
Exactly,
you know?
exactly. And then this
don't lock it up in some glass case or something. It can be broken.
Safe. Thank
Yeah.
you. Why safe? Because you know your son has emotional issues.
Yeah.
Now, which makes me think, did she have the weapons to protect herself?
Yeah, I don't know.
Which she's from Vermont, I believe, which is a strong pro-gun state.
Yeah.
And she's been raised with weapons,
Right.
which I think, again, which means she should have held more. I'm not beating the woman because she's dead, but she should maybe had more of a responsibility that, hey, my son has issues. I have these weapons. I got to keep him secure.
Right.
Because I don't know. But he got access to one of her weapons, killed her, then went to school and took out 26 people at the school, to include 16 children under 7. Christ Almighty, who does that?
Yeah.
I mean,
It's literally like one of the worst things that's ever happened in recorded history.
Oh my God! Oh,
well, not the worst. Okay.
okay, but still,
It's not. Yeah.
we know what you're saying.
Yeah, it's not the worst thing to ever happen in recorded history, but it definitely is.
But I think it all comes down to what we were talking about: personal responsibility,
Right.
and the stigma around mental illness in America. Which I think, again, the problem is us. It ain't weapons; it's us.
Yeah.
And they start talking all gun control. Every time somebody gets knocked off,
Yep.
they start talking about gun control. No, the issue is us.
Yeah.
Same thing with Colorado shooter, the guy Virginia Tech. Where do I stop? Shit.
Yeah.
So again,
I mean, trying to eliminate guns for a mental problem, for a culture problem, is like sweeping dirt under a rug.
Exactly. We have to be honest with ourselves about us, and if there's a problem, hopefully most issues that lead to some of these Berkowitz shootings, Sandy Hook, could be avoided if somebody went, hey, look, there's a problem here. Let's talk about it. Which apparently they did in Sandy Hook, but then at the same time, the parent didn't want to take responsibility.
Right. That's the thing. That's what makes it tough. I mean, there's a point where, because it's easy after someone does something really crazy to go back and say, oh, we should have seen the signs. Mm-hmm. But I mean, the signs have to be pretty strong to where you take dramatic action. I mean, it costs money to put people in these institutions, or are they so dangerous where they need to be removed from society and put in jail? It's a tough.
Which is what corrections, jail, and prison has become the new mental hospital.
Yeah.
I've heard that from the places I work and from other places that I have association with. Special needs, because we don't really know what to do with people who have serious mental illness.
Right.
The idea back in the 70s was to do away with the mental hospitals, and then we'll put them in the community, give them medication, they'll be fine. Problem, we did away with the mental hospitals, but then the community services were never financed. So also, what do we do if they don't take the medication?
Yeah, exactly.
What do we do then? Which, back to the survival thing, that's one issue that we will face, God forbid, if it ever happens. people who are on the antipsychotic medications, all of a sudden, no more access to him.
Yeah.
What do you do when he's knocking at the door?
Yeah.
Well, I know. Yeah, I know what's going to happen. There's going to be a problem, and not necessarily for me.
Right.
So,
and antipsychotic medication ends up being a house of cards.
Yes.
Is a problem.
Yes.
It works while they're on it, and then once you
Exactly.
take that away,
yes,
I mean, then the problem is worse.
that's one of the tough questions that we're going to have to face one day. And again, but if we took action now, it would I think avoid problems in the future if we start again just by talking about it without the stigma.
Right.
And we could avoid a whole bunch of problems because they're out there.
Yeah.
They're out there.
Yep. I think trying to use some type of fabricated pharmaceutical lab drug to fix a problem that someone is suffering from being in a fabricated, I'm trying to think of a good way to explain this, but it's like it's like psychotic drugs in a way are like trying to put a fire out with more fire in some ways.
Okay.
Like there's got to be like the only way to fix a psychotic problem is to really get in there, figure out what it is, and actually fix it. Either by like talking to someone else, or maybe if there's some kind of like natural drugs that help people like actually go through and figure out what their problems are, like
or a combination of all that.
Yeah, a combination. Just hiding from your problems, which is what a lot of the psychotic drugs do, the psychiatric drugs do.
Mask the issues. Yeah,
right. They basically put you in like more of a sedated state where you can deal with it.
True,
but it doesn't fix anything.
If I have to say this, there are some individuals out there who have issues with. They're not going to get better.
It's so bad, right?
Yeah, they're not coming back.
The thing I've always said about like drugs like that, if it's so bad that it's like we got to try it, we just got to do something.
Yeah.
Then okay. I mean, some of those situations, yes. But I think people are over medicated though.
Yes, I think becoming a crutch. Yes, I think we're over medicated society. There are other ways to. Other less medicated pharmaceutical ways to maybe deal with some of the issues we face out here. But I think the easy way is take this.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's what we look for. Take this pill, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
That's what people want.
It's like with our kids. Oh, you're not paying attention in school. The structure of school isn't working for your personality. Here to have some pharmaceutical meth, Adderall,
Oh, what's that drug? South Park. They got the kids were on Ritalin.
Same kind of thing. Yeah.
They call the kids were on Ritalin, and they said, "Well, we have a new drug besides Ritalin. We call it Riddle Out."
That's funny.
If the kid wasn't paying attention, Riddle Out. Well, you went up there and says, "Pay attention, you little ass!" And then he yelled at the kid. All of a sudden, the kid paid attention.
Yeah.
See, it works great. So
that's hilarious.
So anyway, not to make light of anybody's situation, but I think if medication was the way to go, I think we might have a little better results. But I think for some people, yes. For some people, medication is the only answer.
Right.
But I think we got to be diverse in the way we deal with these problems.
Right.
And as I feel like a lot of your mental health professionals will say, it depends on the client too.
Right.
How much are they willing to do to be better? Because a lot of people say, too many people I think are like, screw it. Give me the medication, man. Let's go.
Yep.
I don't know.
Yep.
Let's hope for the best. But again, what we need to worry about are the dangerously altered people.
Right, like the Son of Sam types.
Yes,
there's
exactly.
no fixing someone like that. They are on a different wavelength.
Or your rooftop shooter. What's that guy that in Austin, Texas? You ever heard
from
65?
Yeah, a tumor or something.
He decided, okay, let's start killing.
Yeah.
Whoa, dude! Hey, you're the one dying. Why do you want to take me with you?
Yeah, that's gonna happen. And another thing too that I mean, we can't get away from our primal instincts, and one of them is just monkey see, monkey do. Right. Yeah. So people are saying like, "What's happening? Why are there all these school shootings happening now?" All this monkey see, monkey do. Like that's now in people's mind. That's in people's mind that's a thing. Yeah. Everyone knows about it. Unless you've lived underground for the past 30 years, everyone knows that that's a thing that happens. So if you're a crazy person, like that might be something you think of.
So this guy told me once. I have to agree with him. He said back when I was a kid, back in the Stone Ages, when I was a kid. everybody had guns, but you never saw no school shootings or nothing
Right.
like that. Well, I think a lot of it's because everybody had guns too.
Well, yeah, that too. Yeah, and no one had ever heard of anything like that.
You know,
So
why would you do that?
Yeah.
You're crazy. What's wrong with you? Shoot up a
Yeah.
school?
Even
They haven't
crazy-
done anything to you.
yeah, even a crazy person wouldn't have thought to do that.
You know,
necessarily.
I'm crazy, but not that crazy. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
You're nuts. Get this guy. Somebody.
Yeah.
Get this guy. I'm crazy, but that's nuts.
Yeah.
Okay. But I don't know. Let's hope for the best, and I think if we really want to change things, that we look at other ways, more effective ways to deal with some of the problems we got. But first, we have to be willing to admit there is a problem.
Right. Yeah. Yep. And just trying to conjure up some prohibition against guns is just not going to do anything.
That's sweeping stuff under the rug. That's sweeping the real problem under the rug, which is us. It's not weapons that's the problem.
Right.
It's us.
Right.
The
We
fact that-
always have been the problem.
Yes,
That's the thing. We've
Before-
always been the problem.
Before weapons, we had knives and
Right.
clubs. Well, I mean, okay,
Right.
hey, ban wood.
Yeah.
Ban wood.
Yeah. Stones. They can hurt people.
So,
after the Salem witch trials and all the hangings, let's ban rope. You know?
I heard Chris Rock. He said the way that you want to keep gun violence down, it's not. Don't worry about controlling guns, ammunition.
Oh yeah.
You know, make ammunition so expensive. You know, I'd shoot you, but goddamn, I can't put the bullet on you.
Yeah.
I gotta save this for.
Which is what they want to do. They're just trying to do that.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Or another comedian said, no, we're not going to ban guns. We just make everything breech loaders. Muzzle loaders, sorry.
Oh,
Make it
yeah.
Muzzle loaders. You got to have your black powder. Oh, I'm going to shoot you. Okay, let me pour my powder in here. Okay, then my ball. Then I'm going to jam it down here. Where's my blaster? Where's my firing cap?
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll just make it tougher to shoot you.
Yeah, of course. One of the thing that's great about so many of the modern AR rifles and all this kind of things is it puts more power in the individual's hands. Where before, back in the days where it was a muzzle loader,
Yeah.
if you had one and then you were faced with 4 other people who also have one, you're screwed. You're at a really strong disadvantage.
Yep.
But if you've got a rifle and 4 other people have a rifle, you're not really that. I mean, you are at a disadvantage because you're outnumbered, but you actually have a chance of taking those people out. Because you have several rounds.
What's that thing about John Colt?
Sam Colt. I mean,
Sam Colt. God didn't make every man equal, but Sam Colt
Yeah,
sure as hell
yeah.
did.
Yeah, exactly.
Same thing with ARs.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, now if somebody wants to start some stuff, there are 15 of you, no problem. Where's my AR at? No problem.
Yeah.
My bandolier's ammunition, bring it on, boys. Come
Yeah.
on. So yeah.
Yeah, there's this on that same line of thinking. There's this I guess I don't know if you call it a conspiracy theory or whatever it would be called, but that Tesla invented this thing he called the death ray. That he said would end all wars. Now I don't know if it's true or not, but it's an interesting concept because let's say there was a gun that it could kill basically anybody. I mean, anything. Like you just pointed at something and everything is dead.
Okay.
Everybody be afraid to fight each other.
Well, I think we tried that theory before. The Dr. Gatlin with the Gatling gun.
Oh, yeah.
Idea. Oh, make it so terrible that people won't want to fight. Well, okay, World War I,
Yeah,
World War
yeah,
II,
exactly.
Korea.
Yeah,
Okay.
of course, nuclear weapons.
Yeah,
Of course,
okay.
that actually, I think nuclear weapons, in a way, nuclear weapons have almost done that to an extent because the big countries are kind of afraid to fight each other because of that.
Exactly. It was good that back during the Cold War, in hindsight, the chances of a nuclear war back during the Cold War was next to nothing because only 2 people had them, Russia and America.
Right.
And they both knew that if we start launching nukes, we're all done.
Right.
But now the problem we got is that everybody, their little rogue nations have
Yeah.
India, Pakistan, Iran, Israel. We don't want some little rogue country to get one. South Africa has them too, by the way. And all of a sudden, you know what? Screw it, launch. That's the problem.
Yeah, it is.
Not everybody. The fact that everybody's got access to one.
Right. Double-edged sword, a real big one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As far as death, we have something as far. I went to a conference once. This Army development guy, R&D guy, he says, well, no one's actually asked me for a phaser yet. But he feels like the day was coming.
Yeah.
And I see that day come. You go down to the hardware store. Let me see your Mark 22 phasers.
Yeah.
Hey, I got this new 19. Get that AR out of here. Yeah. So get that out of here. You still shoot bullets? What's wrong with you?
Yeah, that's old school.
So,
I mean, you launch some kind of just awkward lead projectile.
What's with you? What's this, 2014? What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Look at this caveman over here. So anyway, that day's coming. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
They do have a sound wave weapon now. That's out there right now.
Yeah.
That what it does, it projects concentrated sound waves at you, and what it does, the way it works, it vibrates your internal organs, and you get nauseated.
Yeah.
If you're anywhere near it.
Oh yeah, I think you're telling me about
exactly, and it's just as effective as a gun because your internal organs start vibrating, and you get nauseated to the point where you're incapacitated. It is just as good as a gun.
Yeah.
So the problem, limited range. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Innocent bystanders. But hey, you know, I would much rather be, if I'm going to be an innocent bystander, I'd much rather be throwing up.
Okay. Than have a hole in my intestines.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's for sure.
So yeah, we're gonna be. I'm sure there's somebody with a drawing board in the basement right now coming up with the first phaser.
Yeah,
I'm sure it's out there. I'm
yeah.
sure it's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of time.
Yeah,
and I'll be the first one on your block, kids, to have one.
I know. I need one of those. I'm waiting for the lightsaber. That's what I want.
Dude, bring it on.
Yeah.
No, because you know what's going to happen. They're going to be more cut off hands and legs.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, what happened? So, well, I was out there playing around with a lightsaber, and I took my hand off.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's quite a learning curve. Oh, have you seen? I'm sure you've seen the new trailer for the new Star Wars, right?
Oh, yeah. Here we go.
The lightsaber that's looks like the sword where it's got the two little ones.
The hilt. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, as if the double bladed one wasn't bad enough with
Yeah,
Darth Maul,
I know.
who was bad. I can't believe they killed him off. Great character,
Yeah.
Great character.
Yeah, he was something else.
He's
That
a
guy.
bad mofo, by God.
Yeah, he was.
But it's coming.
Yeah.
It's coming. I'm telling you, it's out there. We'll be sitting in a rocking chair as a nursing home 40 years from now. Yeah, remember when they had bullets?
Yeah. Back when those were illegal.
Now the AR is in the museum. Let's see. And yes, boys and girls, here is the AR-15 rifle.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. It actually shot bullets. Not like the phasers 1 and 2 we have now.
Yeah.
With stun and kill and, oh, dude.
Yeah.
Come on.
Annoy.
You charge them up, and you charge them up in a charger next to your bed.
It's like, it's got 3 levels. Kill, stun, and inconvenience.
Which taser's close.
Yeah.
Close.
That's a little more than inconvenience.
Taser is close.
Yeah.
Hey, so I'm there. I know.
A little awkward, you know, because you've got something. It's because the big limiting factor of a taser is because it has to be attached. The projectile has to be attached to the gun. That's the big limiting factor, of course.
Like I said, it's close. They're working. I'm sure they're working on the ones you just point at them and a beam comes out and you're done.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah. Or I mean, they do have laser weapons that aren't like Star Wars where it shoots a laser like a traveling thing, but it's like a regular laser and it's just so powerful that it burns you.
Yeah, but it's like the size of your truck though. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, get in front of my car. Okay. Yeah. All right. Gotcha. Don't move. Gotcha.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, all right. One day.
Yeah. Well, it looks like that camera shut down on its own there.
Okay,
So
the battery power went out.
Yeah.
We've been here talking for that long.
Yeah, the battery's pretty small on that camera. Okay, so it looks like maybe we'll have cameras for the first part of the show.
Okay, we don't know when that camera went out too.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably went out like 40 minutes ago.
Yeah. or just like the rest of the show will only be on you. So I don't know what I'm going to do with that, how all that's going to work out. So
we'll see.
You guys just bear with me, while we figure that out. But I'm trying to incorporate cameras, and we'll make that happen. If there's no cameras on this one, sorry for getting your hopes up. Of course, you didn't really get your hopes up because you knew from the beginning if there was cameras or not.
We warned you. Warned you.
But that's something I'm going to be trying to make happen.
Cool.
So I figured I'd add a little extra element to it. But anyways, I appreciate Derek coming on again, and I hope you guys found something interesting in all that rambling about all kinds of things.
Okay.
But we'll do it again for sure, and we even have some potential video projects planned. Derek might be able to share some of his medical experience with you guys some things. But appreciate you guys listening, and we'll talk to you next time.